When a franchise decides to stop pretending and start dominating, the numbers tell a story that makes the entire baseball world sit up and take notice. The Toronto Blue Jays just unveiled their full 2026 payroll. And what it reveals isn't just spending, it's championship architecture in its purest form. Hello, Jays Nation. Welcome to Jays Quick News, your go-to spot for the latest Toronto Blue Jays updates. Today, we're breaking down the complete financial blueprint that positions Toronto as the most dangerous team in the American League East. And trust me, this isn't your typical offseason spending story. This is a front office declaring war on mediocrity while the rest of the division scrambles to keep up. But here's what everyone's asking. Does a $279 million payroll guarantee October dominance, or is Toronto making the kind of calculated investment that turns contenders into dynasties? Let's dive deep into the numbers that have Yankees fans sweating. And if you want every Blue Jays development delivered straight to you, smash that subscribe button right now. Let's start with the headline-grabbing reality. This winter alone, Toronto committed a staggering $337 million in guaranteed money across 4 transformative signings. Dylan Cease anchors this revolution at 7 years and $210 million, which is the kind of ace-level investment that doesn't just improve a rotation, it redefines it. Then you've got the supporting cast that makes this brilliant. Cody Ponce at 3 years and $30 million. Tyler Rogers locked in for 3 years and $37 million. And the latest power addition, Kazuma Okamoto, secured for 4 years and $60 million. This isn't reactive spending. This is proactive domination by a front office that learned from watching the Dodgers celebrate on their field. Now here's where the numbers get absolutely wild. When you zoom out to the projected 2026 payroll, Roster Resource estimates Toronto sitting at approximately $279 million, while SpotRac's luxury tax calculation comes in around $287 million either way. We're talking about a financial commitment that puts the Blue Jays ahead of the New York Yankees at $263 million and miles clear of Boston at $191 million. Let that sink in for a moment. The Toronto Blue Jays are outspending the New York Yankees. This isn't your grandfather's American League East anymore, but the division gap tells an even more dramatic story. Baltimore sits at $147 million and Tampa Bay barely scrapes together $78 million. Here's the stat that should terrify the Rays. Toronto's single winter spending spree of $277 million from just 3 signings is more than 3.5 times Tampa Bay's entire projected 2026 payroll. That's not just a competitive advantage. That's a statement about organizational commitment and championship ambition. Context matters enormously here, because this isn't a desperate franchise throwing money at problems. The Blue Jays won the AL East in 2025 for the first time since 2015, then pushed deep into October, ultimately falling just 2 outs short of their first World Series championship since 1993 in a heartbreaking Game 7 loss to the Dodgers. This front office watched Miguel Rojas tie that game in the 9th inning and Will Smith break Toronto hearts in the 11th, and they responded by declaring that 2025 wasn't a ceiling, it was a foundation. Let's talk about one signing that perfectly encapsulates Toronto's strategic brilliance. Tyler Rogers at 3 years and $37 million. Some markets might balk at that price for a reliever, but the advanced metrics tell a completely different story. Rogers led all of Major League Baseball with 81 appearances last season while posting a microscopic 1.98 ERA. That's not availability. That's elite durability combined with shutdown performance. In a division where September baseball gets decided by bullpen depth, Rogers represents exactly the kind of high floor certainty that wins championships. The Blue Jays aren't gambling on upside. They're investing in proven October reliability. How does this compare to Toronto's historical spending patterns? The franchise has never been shy about opening the checkbook when championship windows appear, but what we're witnessing now represents an entirely different level of strategic aggression. The 2015-2016 era saw impactful moves, but those were largely reactive additions plugging holes as they emerged. This current iteration feels fundamentally different. This is proactive roster construction at its finest. Dylan Cease wasn't just the best available pitcher. He's the long-term rotation anchor they needed after watching Kevin Gausman and Shane Bieber potentially enter free agency after 2026. Kazuma Okamoto wasn't just a power bat. He's a strategic lineup lengthener designed to give opposing pitching staffs zero breathing room from top to bottom. So what comes next for this juggernaut in the making? The immediate future centers on spring training integration. Can Cease seamlessly transition to the Rogers Center and dominate the way his contract demands? Does Okamoto's considerable power translate effectively against elite American League East pitching? And perhaps most critically, can this roster maintain the health necessary to justify this massive financial outlay over a grueling 162-game schedule? Projection-wise, if this core performs anywhere close to expectations, Toronto isn't just competing for another division title, they're setting the pace for the entire American League. The Yankees will inevitably push back with their own moves. Boston will attempt to reload their roster. But right now, at this moment, the Blue Jays are dictating every conversation. They've made it unmistakably clear that 2026 isn't about defending a division title. It's about finishing what they started in that devastating Game 7. Here's the ultimate reality that separates championship teams from pretenders. Spending big doesn't automatically guarantee championship rings, but it absolutely guarantees opportunity at the highest level. Toronto has systematically constructed the deepest roster in the American League East, the most flexible lineup construction in baseball, and the kind of bullpen depth that converts close games into wins when it matters most. Whether that translates into a World Series championship parade down Yonge Street, or becomes a cautionary tale about organizational overspending, depends entirely on execution between the lines. So here's my question for you, Jays Nation. Does this record-breaking payroll make you more confident in Toronto's championship window? Or does the massive financial pressure of these contracts worry you about long-term sustainability? Drop your honest thoughts in the comments section below. And don't forget to absolutely smash that like button and turn on notifications so you never miss a single update. The 2026 season is shaping up to be historic, and we'll be right here covering every single move the Blue Jays make. Let's go, Blue Jays.